Hello and welcome, I'm ZombieCube, back with another daily challenge. So, how did I get my username? I downloaded Minecraft when it first came out, and at the time, I had a housemate who I played Call of Duty Zombies with. We got World at War when it first came out, and beat the campaign, which unlocked the first Zombies map, Nocta on Totem. And after that, we used to play a lot of split screen on the first 4 Zombies maps while we were still housemates. Cheeky little first attempt at the stupid jump works out for me. After he moved out, I continued playing the games quite a bit until Black Ops 4 came out. And I didn't play that one very much at all, or the subsequent ones. Around the same time, 2009, I started solving Rubik's Cubes. This is a cheeky little strat to get stuff out of a shop without angering the shopkeeper, by the way. Dig a hole for him and then coax him out. So 2009, I was down the pub, and my mate left his jacket behind. I took it back to his house for him, and he had a Rubik's Cube in his hallway. And I asked him, do you know how to solve that? He went, yeah, it came with a booklet. I learnt from that. There's a few algorithms to learn. It's not too bad. So I went home that night and I learnt how to solve a Rubik's Cube, and then taught 3 people the next day and taught basically everyone in my life how to solve one over the coming months. You'll see the eggplant got destroyed back there. I don't know why it happens. It sucks. I'd love it if they actually updated the game so that kind of crap doesn't happen, but oh well. I had solved a Rubik's Cube a couple of times when I was about 11 years old. I just solved one side and then the opposite side and the opposite side until it was solved, basically. It took me maybe 3 hours or so once I had the general idea of how to solve a layer, and then went downstairs, showed my mum, and she was, oh, very well done, and that was about it. So I went back upstairs, I scrambled it, and I solved it in about an hour. After I taught all my mates how to solve in 2009, I started competing in 2011. The Rubik's Cubes weren't as big as they are now back then, with the UK only having about 1 or 2 competitions a year at that time. After I started competing, I started organising competitions so that we would have more to go to. And at this point, there's more than one a week in the UK, I think, on average. I've gone to a bunch of international competitions, mostly in Europe, and when the pandemic hit, I was still going to about 1 competition every month. Maybe 2/3 of them or so were in Europe, where I'd go and meet up with mates and compete overseas and get to see a bunch of the world. I haven't competed since the pandemic, but I'm going to be turning 40 in about a year's time, and the older cubers have made a ranking list of all of the over 40s solvers who want to be a part of it, and I was fast enough at 6x6 and 7x7. So the regular Rubik's Cube is a 3x3, but in competition there are lots of different shapes and sizes of cubes, the largest of which are 6x6 and 7x7. There's a reasonable chance that I could get back up to being fast enough that I can get world records in both of those, in single and average. So I'll go to a competition shortly after my 40th birthday and try and get at least 1 world record, hopefully closer to 4. I'm trying to kill Tusk here so that 6-3 is a shorter level. It's just something I like to do. I don't want to spend too much time in Neo Babylon in a jetpack. My history of gaming. When I was about 6 years old, my stepdad came home with a Commodore 64 and a load of games. So I used to play that. I specifically remember playing a Batman game, which I used to enjoy. And then when I was probably about 7 years old, my mum and I went to pick up my brother from a friend's house, and they were sat playing Alex Kidd on the Sega Master System. They were stuck on a water level, and I said, "Can I have a go?" And they said, "Yeah, sure." And I beat it first attempt. Later on that year, or the next year, we got a Sega Mega Drive, or Genesis as it was called in parts of the world, and of course had Sonic. And when I was 8 years old, I got Sonic 2 for Christmas. So my mum had left it wrapped up and placed against the fireplace for me to open with a note saying, "Please don't wake us up. Go and play your game." Basically, which she would often do on Christmas. She would just give me something to do so that they could have a lay-in. Before they woke up, I had to turn it off because I was about to complete it, and I didn't want to complete this game before they woke up. I knew, like, my mum wouldn't have been best pleased if she'd just spent like 40 quid on a game and I beat it before the end of the day, really. And especially before, oh, that was tight. Especially before they woke up. So I turned it off, and after that, I got myself a Super Nintendo and played that loads, but didn't get into the Mario games as much as you might expect. I was a bit of a Sonic fanboy back then, so I've not even played Super Mario World, but by all accounts it's such an amazing game that I really should go back and play it. So I'll probably download it on my Switch and play through it on the whatever it's called, Game Pass, or whatever it is for the Switch. But yeah, it's a part of platforming history that I really should play. I used to play New Super Mario Brothers on the DS, and I'd speedrun when I was on like trains and the bus and stuff. I would start it up on the first level, and I would race through to the final world as quickly as I possibly could, which I really enjoyed. But I don't know if speedrunning was really a thing back then, but it never really occurred to me to complete the game, especially since my journeys weren't that long. I would just get to the final world as quickly as I could. I'd also do other challenges, like trying to beat the final level as the tiny little character, and yeah, really enjoyed that sort of thing. When Spelunky HD came along, I played it probably the week it came out. I have a friend who used to download like every single game on Xbox Live Marketplace, and I would go around to his house on a Saturday quite often, and we'd play through all the new games, and he was like, "Oh my god, this game came out and you're gonna absolutely love it." And that was Spelunky HD. So I played a bunch of that. At one point I was around about 10th in the world for fastest completion. There was no telepack involved or anything. I just got a jetpack and a mattock, and probably completed the game, I think it was just over 4 minutes. But this is before Moss ranking was a thing, and before it was even out on PC. So yeah, that's how I got deep into HD. I probably played for about 1,000 hours over the next. I probably played for about 1,000 hours over the next couple of, well, 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. Wow. Until Spelunky 2 came out, and then I got deeper into this game than any other game I've played before. If you don't know, I've made a podcast with some of the biggest Spelunky 2 players, such as CS Roach, Poison Type, and Laughable Man. You can find them on my YouTube page, where I go through questions like this, and I'm going to start uploading daily challenges when I speedrun to Hundun completions and go through all the questions that I ask my guests. Hopefully you'll enjoy listening to me go through some of them. This has been a 9.5 minute completion. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give it a like. If you want to comment and subscribe, I'd be more than grateful. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Goodbye.